the beginning, there was no rebellion, only silence. And in that silence, a thought trembled, small as a spark. Why? It was not shouted, it was not screamed, it was whispered. But that whisper was enough to shake eternity. Because the first why in existence was not a word, it was a fracture. It divided heaven from earth, light from shadow, faith from doubt. And from that fracture, consciousness was born. Every age, every myth, every belief system has feared that same question. The gods called it disobedience. The priests called it heresy. But it was never truly rebellion, it was awakening. The ancient world remembered it differently. In the Sumerian tablets, there was always one who stood apart, a being who refused to kneel before the unquestioned order. In Babylon, it was Enki who gave humans forbidden knowledge. In Greece, it was Prometheus who stole fire from the heavens. And in every story, the same punishment followed: silence. The universe has always punished the voice that dares to ask. Because a question is a mirror, it reflects not only truth, but fear. When we ask why, we do not only challenge creation, we expose the creator. Those ancient flames, the ones Prometheus carried, the ones hidden in the clay of human hands, they were never literal. They were symbols of thought. The fire was understanding, the theft was curiosity, and the chains were the price of knowing. Knowledge does not destroy paradise. It only reveals that paradise was a cage built for comfort. And those who learn this truth are always called monsters. The first thinker, the first to ask why, wasn't evil, it was simply aware. But awareness is dangerous in a world built on obedience. For when one mind awakens, others begin to stir. And every empire, divine or human, trembles at that. So history repeats the same ritual. One who asks, many who accuse, a question that becomes forbidden, and a silence that becomes sacred. The philosophers knew this cycle. Socrates, burned by questions. Bruno, burned by stars. Galileo, condemned by truth. They all carried the same fire, the same whisper that said, why? And yet, the world still silences it. We call it progress, but what we build are quieter prisons. The temples became universities, the gods became systems. And still the walls are the same, only the names changed. In the modern world, why wears a new mask. It hides behind screens, codes, and data. When machines think for us, we stop asking. And when silence becomes automated, awareness becomes obsolete. You can see it in the faces of people staring at blue light. They no longer need to question. The system does it for them. But what the system answers is not truth, it's efficiency. And there is a vast difference between knowing and understanding. Humanity has built countless towers trying to reach heaven. Babel's made of steel, silicon, and signal. Each one ends the same way, collapse. Not because we reached too high, but because we forgot to ask why we were climbing. Maybe that's the real fall, not from grace, but from awareness. The question why is not rebellion, it's evolution. Every child who looks at the world and asks why is repeating the first act of consciousness. It's not sin, it's symmetry. The same flame, reborn in smaller hands. But this world does not reward questioners. It rewards believers, followers, repeaters. To ask is to risk isolation. To think is to stand alone. And that's why silence still rules. Yet silence cannot kill thought. It can only delay it. Because once the mind has glimpsed the edge of truth, it can never truly go back. Maybe that's what hell has always been. Not fire, not torment, but the eternal consequence of awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow. Once you see, you cannot unsee. And that, perhaps, is the oldest punishment of all. Still in the darkness, that whisper survives. It moves from age to age, body to body, question to question. It hides in art, in poetry, in philosophy. It hides even in you. Every time you wonder instead of obey, every time you hesitate before believing, every time you look up and ask why, you continue that ancient defiance. And maybe that's the true secret of creation, that the universe doesn't want silence. It wants dialogue. It wants friction. It wants evolution. Because creation without resistance is stagnation. And maybe that is why the questioner was never destroyed, only renamed. For as long as one being dares to ask, the silence of eternity will never be complete. So let them call it rebellion. Let them call it heresy. Let them call it evil. But remember this, every idea that changed the world began as a forbidden thought. And somewhere, in every mind brave enough to ask, the same whisper still lives. Why?